And good morning, golfing world. It's TGD Today Roundtable right here with Hugh Roy III, that guy down at the end. I'm George Honeycutt. Thanks so much for joining us.
You know, you think he would respect his elders.
Nice
you know?
intro.
Yeah.
Really nice intro.
It's very
George.
disappointing. You know,
Very much elders.
my daddy taught me to respect my elders, and, you know, for him to be that disrespectful, I ought to just slap him upside the
I
head.
think he's just a sore loser.
Or he got smoked.
He's getting used to it, though.
Yeah. You got smoked just as much as I did.
Yeah, but I finished second. I didn't finish DFL.
Yeah, that's true.
Good donuts this morning.
Yeah, very good donuts.
Good
So thank you, Krispy Kreme and Mr. George Honeycutt, the Godfather.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Absolutely marvelous. Marvelous.
Marvelous.
Yes, I,
Through the party.
yeah.
Of course, congratulations on your good play this weekend, though, Dannon.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
That was impressive.
Thank you. It's 15 handicap. I'll find a nut every once in a while.
Let's see,
Oh,
15 handicap. I played from the tips at the Ocean Club and shot 75. Yeah, that figures.
How the man can sleep at night's beyond me.
I don't.
Tell me about it.
I don't sleep at night, but I hate to disappoint you, but I don't.
I want to meet the idiot that plays him more than twice when he uses that kind of handicap.
No, I want to meet the person that lets him walk away from the golf course.
Yes.
Because if it had been in my hometown, he'd have been shot.
The idiot that's played me twice, his name's Jim Merriman.
Oh, Lord.
If you want to meet him, he
know-
lives right down the street.
I know Jim. I know Jim.
Mermaid's a sucker, isn't he?
Oh, Mermaid talks a big game, too.
Oh, you gotta love Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
He
You
just
got to have a really big game to cover 15 shots with that guy.
Yeah, that's true. You know, speaking of this last weekend, by the way, thanks to South State Bank, got invited to play at this event and ended up playing some marvelous golf courses, dry golf courses, and that was unusual. But there was 24 of us, 12 professional, 12 amateurs, and so I got tagged as a professional.
With a 15 handicap.
With a 15.
Yeah. Best damn 15 you ever laid your eyes on.
Oh, my gosh.
There was no handicap, folks, so don't.
And his father-in-law
Don't go
is
crazy.
a minister.
And the word that
Used
comes
That's
to
the
be.
really sad part.
Used to be.
You don't ever lose that.
Used to be.
He's a man of God.
Okay.
And he's your father-in-law.
Yeah.
the word
I mean,
that comes
Bethany,
to mind.
what's wrong with his picture?
Bethany attended seminary school and college. Whatever.
And then she married you, so that went right out the
Yeah.
window.
Well, it's like my father-in-law told me the other night. He goes, George, you are my dark side. I said, what do you mean by that, Pastor? He goes, well, let's see. You taught me how to play poker. You taught me how to cuss. You taught me about military and death and war and violence and all this other stuff. He goes, I would have never known those sides of the street unless you had informed me. And I said, that's all right, Pastor. I do what I can. Just trying to move people through the game of life. How about that?
Maybe he'll put in a good word for you down the road somewhere.
It won't help.
It
It
left
won't
me
help.
speechless.
It won't help.
No.
I'm sorry to say.
No,
But
no.
go back to my little story over the weekend. Hugh, I don't admit it often, but I quite often, more than you care to know or I care to tell you, that I use your words of wisdom. And
Call Ripley's, will you?
Okay.
Believe it or not.
oh, there you go. There you go. This week, you know, the question was, folks, I'm playing extremely difficult golf courses. I get put on the tips at each one of these courses, which, you know, kind of upset me until I realized all of a sudden I'm at least inside the top 10. So I'm sitting there going, well, I'll just play my game. And my game consisted of, what would Hugh do? That was my question.
Really?
I would sit there and go, okay, I'd look at a particular shot and look at the different options available to me. Case in point, first in the third hole, fourth hole, something like that, I had a ball bumped up right against some very, very thick rough. And we talked about it last week on the show about using a hybrid or a 3-wood to bump it up on the green instead of trying to Texas wedge in it or hitting a wedge shot or whatever. So I stood there and looked at it, and I said, Hugh would probably pull out the fairway wood and choke down to the bottom of the grip and just make a putt out of it. That's exactly what I did. Got about 6 inches from the cup, tapped in par, moved on. Everybody else around me was losing theirs and blaming it on me. You know what I mean?
I would have sworn this was going to end up being a backhanded compliment, and it still could be. It still could.
It's pretty front forward now, and I'm pretty impressed, and I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
And
it was just
he's not finished. Be careful.
yeah. Let me get on the roll. It was the type of golf and the conditions, and I'm talking about course conditions.
Yes.
And on Monday, on the links course at Wild Dunes, they have been closed for 8 months plus. They just reopened a couple weeks ago. They put in Champions Bermuda greens.
Mm-hmm.
They were there. 13.5 was the stimp meter reading.
God, that sounds like fun.
13.5.
That sounds like
They
fun.
and folks, as you know, and you've heard for the years now, the Godfathers played Augusta. The Godfathers putted around Augusta. I always thought that no greens could match that. But as far as speed wise, as far as break wise, as far as undulation wise, the links course, the renovation that Fazio did to the links course, equaled, if not, was more severe than Augusta National. Case in point, number 13. It's a par 4, and I got forewarned by, of all people, the bag drop guy. He forewarns me before we go out. He goes, when you get to 13, I believe the pin's front right. Don't mess with it. Whatever you do, don't mess with it.
So you did.
No. I just simply, as Hugh would say, you know, if you need to worry about spin, if you're worried about spin back or whatever, go dead hands. He kind of years ago taught me the dead hand shot. So I took a little wedge. I was 134 out, something like that. I took a little pitching wedge, went dead hands with it, left myself 25 foot pin high. Left. I didn't even mess with the pin. Now, the kid that I was playing with, a young professional out of Charlotte, he ended up going at the pin. He ended up bouncing over the green, down a gully, across the cart path, and into a waste area. Right up against gorse grass. He ends up making triple. So that little kid's remark at the bag drop cost him 3 shots and saved me 3. And then just thinking about things that Hugh would say. So, Hugh, what I wanted you to speak on, and I asked you to do this last week, and, of course, you haven't done anything of the sorts of getting ready, prepared for this.
I don't need to.
But let's talk real quick about some insights of course management and thinking your way around the golf course.
It comes down to something very simple. And perfect example, you at Barefoot, me at Possum Trot, you go visit your golf courses, you know, with the East Coast, and you watch people on the practice tee. They're out there just hitting balls for the sake of hitting balls. There's no purpose to it, anything else. Well, if you watch the average golfer here in Myrtle Beach comes down with their buddies, they just go play golf.
Yep.
You know, and they wonder why they shoot 100 or they shoot 95. Excuse me. And so, you know, it's all about learning, figuring out what, you know, if you're going to play a golf course, there's a website that's going to give you a scorecard, maybe a few pictures or describe the holes or whatever else. I mean, it's amazing what's on websites now, what you can learn. Try to put yourself a game plan together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get there, you know how far you hit the ball, you know the type shots you hit. Find out where you want to try to hit the ball. Granted, we don't always hit it where we want to, but you have a plan, and always know where you need to miss, whether it's short, long, left, or right, depending on pin placement. And it's easy things like that that will help people improve. I mean, course management is all based on the fact you want to hit the fairway, you want to hit the middle of the green, and then you take your chance from there. As boring as that sounds, and a lot of people are going to say, well, I came out here to try to shoot at pins. And well, fine. If you shoot 100, good luck. That's your problem.
Right.
But if I put everybody 15 feet from the hole on 18 greens, odds are they're going to shoot par better if they can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Should.
You know, and that's how that's golf course management, you know. And when you miss greens, understanding, you know, it's not necessarily always grabbing a sand wedge. You know, like yesterday, I hit it over a green. We're playing at Pine Lakes, and golf course was great. Greens were hard. I thought I hit a perfect shot into this hole, and it's backs right up to the clubhouse. I think it's like 13. And I'm standing there, and I'm over this green, and it's kind of sparse back there because there's not a lot of sunlight gets there by some shrubs. And, I'm 12 yards over the green. Pin's cut in the back, and, it's a flop shot, what I need, but I can't because of the lie. Well, you take a 6-iron, and I just hit a little bump and run. I got it up there. It went 10 feet from the hole, but I've got a chance to save par.
Right.
Where a lot of people take a sand wedge and try to hit it, and they either fat it right there at their feet in front of them,
skull it,
or they skull it and kill their friends across the green.
And then do it again.
Again and again. And it's all about understanding, eliminating, and solidifying your percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a better chance.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you get it up and down or not, just don't waste strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basic course management. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm going to tell you, it's I don't know if it's just me or whatever. Sunday and Monday at Ocean and then at Links, it was stressful getting up. I didn't know the golf courses. Looking at what's out there in front of you, how can I carry this hazard, especially me being an older player from way back there, I'm really not used to looking at 480-yard par fours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to looking at 580 to 590 to 600 par fives into the wind. And it was stressful in the fact that every hole was that stress of, I've got to plan this tee. I can't just get up and hit a driver.
No.
I can't do that. I'm going to tell you, on the last round, we played Harbor at Wild Dunes. And I guess that's their resort course.
It's a good little course.
Well, it's tight as hell.
Yep.
Okay? There's water on 14 holes. 14. But they do something there. When I saw it on the first tee box, it put a calmness over me, and I laughed at it at the end of the day. They put the 150 post on every hole. And so all I did on every tee box, I took my rangefinder, par fours, par fives, whatever, and I just aimed at the 150 post. And I can't tell you how many hybrids and 3-woods I hit off the tee box.
Well, and that's on
from the tips.
But on a short, tight golf course like that, that's what you do.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching these flat bellies
hit
bomb
drivers, and they're hitting it out of bounds.
and blowing it clear into the hazard.
Well, see, that's part of the problem. Those flat bellies, they're being watched by your average golfer every week, and he's like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try that shot that I saw him hit on TV. They're not playing within their game. They're out there trying to emulate what Jordan Spieth just did last week that they watched.
Well, Heather said to tell you she shot 78 there when she was 18. So
okay, fine. That was in 1978. Okay.
My wife's only 45 years old, so relax.
I got it.
Be nice.
Y'all be careful.
She took a stab at me.
Oh yeah.
I thought she loved me. There was one hole, the pro at Harbor. It's a par 4. He set it up as a drivable par 4, much like the trend on the tours now.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was 338 yards, something like that, from the tips. The amateurs all loved it. It was like, I don't know, 260, 270, something around there from their tees. But for us, the flat bellies, there wasn't any question.
Did he just call himself a flat belly?
No. I'm saying the guys that I was playing.
He
with.
did. He accidentally
No,
included. Yeah,
I
you
didn't.
did.
No, I don't even come
Can
close.
you play it back?
I'll say the round bellies. How about for me?
That's better.
Yeah. This kid gets out of the cart, and he had shot 90-something on Sunday, and then I think he had like a high 70s on Monday. And so he wasn't in the running for the money. But he gets out. He's got driver in his hand, and I'm sitting there looking at him, and I've got honors. So I'm sitting there looking at him going, wow. I take my rangefinder out, and I'm looking at the hole. There's nothing but hippopotamuses and dinosaurs, and there's, swamp, quicksand. There's nothing but crap around this green.
Yeah.
There's a sliver of run-up apron on the far right-hand side that's maybe 10 yards wide. Maybe.
It's like fishing in your bathtub with no bait. You just throw it in there and you bait them, and
you're not going to get anything.
No. They're
So I pull out hybrid, 20-degree hybrid, aim at the 150 marker, hit a decent shot for me. I'm down there. I've got 112 to the hole. He puts one dead into the hazard left of the green. Then he looks at me and goes, okay, I got to re-tee. Well, okay, young man, re-tee. Didn't ask what color the stakes were. Didn't ask what color the lines were. He says, I got to re-tee. I said, okay, re-tee.
And this is a young man that's a club pro.
That's right.
God help our game.
I know.
I'm sorry.
So he re-tees another one.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Uses the driver again.
Well, of course.
Blows this one right. Lost ball, because we actually go try to look for it. So guess what now? He's got to go back. Tee up a third one.
Driver again?
No. This time he actually gets smart. He hit a 6-iron to where my ball was.
Yep.
He comes down there. We're allowed to use the rangefinders with no slope, of course. So I'm taking a shot, and I just mentioned the number to him because literally he's right there with me. He's a yard ahead of me, okay? He stands over it. He's looking. I go ahead. I pull my club. I'm kind of getting into the shot because we've been looking for his and all this. I mean, it's taking some time. And the other group's behind us already on the tee. And he goes, wow, I should have just did this the first time, should I?
Duh.
Course management.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a sadness to watch. It really was. Because this kid's got all the talent in the world.
And George, that's where I'm going.
Super nice guy.
That's where I'm going with all this when I said I'm sorry. Because these kids coming up, and again, I've offered to the university here to help with the PGM program as far as helping these kids not only with their golf swings but with course management and stuff. I've gone to the Golf Academy of America, talked to the person that was in charge of that at one time that has since left, about let me help you with these guys because they're going to become club pros. They're going to get in the business.
Yeah.
Let's try to create a different platform so that when they get in the business, they can actually help their members, or help the people at the – because these guys are going into this and they know nothing other than the fact that they've played golf with their parents at the country club or whatever, and they don't really know the rules. They don't know the game. And every time I've been turned down. And then I hear about this. These kids are watching Rory and all them hit these 340-yard drives,
Sure.
and they think they're Hercules.
Right.
And look what happens.
Right.
They spend an hour on a hole because this kid's too dumb to figure out if I just put it up there in the fat part, I can wedge it on the green.
Right.
Yeah, it blows my mind. And course management – it doesn't matter how – you're always going to have somebody that can out-hit you. They're going to hit it further. They're going to hit it straighter. Mm-hmm. What does it take for you to put the ball in the fairway and put it on the green to shoot a score? Mm-hmm. That number that goes on that card in that box at the end of the day is all that matters.
Yep.
You want to be flashy and whatever, go be Bubba Watson. That's fine. God help you do that. Okay? I will go out and hit every fairway, every green, and shoot 16 under par every week on the PGA Tour and make millions and millions of dollars, and you may not even know who I am, and I don't care.
Right.
Because I know what my golf ball is going to do. I know where it's going. And at the end of the day, I'm going to beat people on an average pretty much every week. And it's just they think you got to be cool and hit it 9 miles. And that's not – yeah, it's a part of the game, but it's not the game.
How many people do we know, Hugh, that bust it, that can bust it?
Yeah.
As soon as you put a wedge in their hand, you know you got them. If they come up 20 yards short, 10 yards short, if they go over a green by 10, you know you got them. I'd go ahead and press.
Well, that's why it's where the nickname Stonehands came from. You know, And again, Heather laughs. She gets mad at me when I say it, and she's listening, obviously. But, I mean, it's like my daddy used to say, well, I guess your hands are too close to your wrist because he got you again. You know, I mean, there's people that just don't have the touch. So why would you put yourself in that kind of situation?
But
play to your strengths.
But also, too, develop the touch. I mean, just going out and hitting 300 drivers on a range.
Yeah.
We've got all these colleges right now shown up at Barefoot.
Yeah.
They
Spring
come
break.
every year. Yeah, exactly. And you sit and watch them. They're out on that range. They'll hit 8 hours of balls. They're sending pelts out with 5-irons and drivers and 3-woods and all that. You know how much time they spend on the putting greens and the chipping area? 10 minutes. There'll be 8 hours out there pounding balls. They'll spend 10 minutes, 5 on one, 5 on the other, and then it's back hitting drivers again.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I guarantee you, this old man with 15 handicap, I'll take him out and wear them all day. I'll just wear them for lunch, dinner, and breakfast the next morning.
Do you know how many people that listen to this program really believe you're a 15?
I don't care. My point is,
he's a +2, folks.
my point
okay?
is, I will. It's like the guy said to me at the end of our third round. He said, "Man, I'd love to have your hands because I mean, if I got in trouble, I don't hit perfect shots, and the greens were so hard, surface wise. I would hit a good shot and think, wow, that's great. And all of a sudden it check and then release and roll off the back. And I'm going, God, I couldn't have hit that any better. But then again, too, I don't make a living at this. So, let's go up there and try to figure out a way I can get it in the hole.
Well, that was what was so fun for me yesterday was because, I haven't played around here. It's been so wet.
Yes.
You haven't played on greens that the ball's going to take a 15, 20 foot
no.
hop.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in months.
And so it's like all of a sudden it gets you a little gun shy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden
Good stuff.
I got to thinking, I'm going, you know what? This is what it's about. But the thing is, it's like, and I know we've got to close this down, but you think about the old school, the way that, you came up, the way I was raised, the way my father played, George, the same thing. And as dumb as this is going to sound, you need to take these kids when they start being able to drive a car, they've got to learn to drive a stick shift first.
Yeah.
Because if you can't change gears, you can't move. And it's the same way with golf. You've got to learn to change gears in your golf swing when you play. And I had a kid come down from UNC Charlotte this weekend, stand there hitting 7-irons, the prettiest things you ever seen. They're going 180 yards. I said, now, you see that sign out there? It's 161 from here to that 150 sign. I said, I don't want to see this 7-iron go past it. Kid couldn't hit a solid shot. It took him 15, 20 minutes to get the timing to be able to carry it to the front of that. And by the time he got it, he goes, this makes sense.
It's either 110% or nothing.
Yeah. And I said, you got to be able to go 75, 80. You got to, and you never go 100% until you have to. And once he got it, it all made sense to him. He goes, man, I got it.
Folks, I got to tell you, I'm sorry.
That's
Professor,
right.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what is the number? Is it 75, 80%? Is that the normal?
Practice tee 65 to 70, golf course 80, 85 tops.
I think that's good information to pass along.
Yeah.
I do.
You don't ever go to 100% unless it's that last hole and you've got to do something to try to win.
My lack of course knowledge this last weekend, every club that I hit, I choked down an inch. That was my whole thought process. He taught me that.
Yeah.
I choked down an inch on every club.
Yeah, you just watch your pace and you put the ball in play and take your chance from there.
Yeah.
You got 13 clubs in a putter, so use them.
I guarantee you not one swing, and you would have been proud of me because you get on me about staying down through the shot. But I guarantee you I didn't get past here with a driver or a wedge for 3 days. All I did, I was going to keep it in the short grass. That's all I wanted to do because around that short grass, there was some ugly stuff.
Or you're out of bounds. Yeah. So, yeah.
I didn't even know there was out of bounds on the golf course. I had no clue. I didn't get in the hazard for 3 days.
It's impressive.
Okay?
You suck.
Thank
there
you.
you go. There's a 15 handicapper for you. He doesn't hit it in the trash. Yeah. Okay.
And
Played with 3 balls.
3 rounds,
3 rounds, 3 balls.
a new one each day.
Absolutely. Had that soccer ball rolling, baby. I can't wait till the new ones come out. I'm excited.
Oh, Lord help us.
Give us a couple of quick takeaways that we could do to work on course management, just real quick.
Real quick, just to understand that you don't have to hit driver every hole. And around the greens, it's not always grab your sand wedge or your lob wedge.
Good.
Get the ball on the green rolling as soon as you can if you've got room, so
Great
as you
tip.
create something that's very similar to a putt. It's easier to control the distance, the speed, and you'll be surprised at how many times you'll chip it in just trying to get it close. Trying to use a sand wedge and flopping it up in the air, you don't ever know how it's going to react. So
Good
if
stuff.
you can hit like a 6-7 iron and hit a little bump and run like a putt from just off the green, but it carries onto the green and can roll out, you'll be surprised at how much better your scores will get.
And practice short game.
Absolutely. I mean, chip, putt, spend as much time on that as you do going out hitting balls.
Yeah. How many times did we spend hours upon hours playing putting games?
Oh, my gosh, playing 21 or,
Whatever
drawback,
it was,
all that
yep.
kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
How many hours?
Oh,
And you
listen,
don't see it now.
I had the pleasure of having Marlene Floyd work at one of our golf courses,
Wow.
and that lady lived short game.
Well, and again, that's that's Raymond. Their way they were brought. But I tell you what, my dad told me a long time ago when I lost the Georgia State PGA at Riverside in Macon. I shot 80 to lose. I choked my guts out. He goes, "You just remember this." He goes, "Next time on television, when Raymond Floyd's leading the golf tournament, or Lanny Watkins," he goes, "you sit down and watch him." He goes, "Because Raymond Floyd is the best front runner to ever play the game, and Lanny Watkins is not far behind him. And you watch how these people manage a golf course and work their way around it. They don't change anything, but yet they don't get conservative either. And they will bury you."
Good stuff.
Yep.
TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Digital Network for thegolfdirector.com. Be sure to check out our featured course pages right there on the website. You'll find course information, conditions, specials, much more. Need help with your next golfing vacation? Just call Dave. You can call us right here at the Golf Director, 844-GO-GOLF-1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. Just click on the TGD Radio and the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. You can find us on 1 billion. God, that was good, guys. Devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Periscope, Catch.me, Blueberry. George Honeycutt, humbly with Hugh Roy III and Professor Gene Weldon. We want to thank you for tuning in with us. We want to thank Jeff behind the glass. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more golf news and information coming up next.